Anyone who's been following my work over the past for well over a decade will know I've been writing on best practice parenting and schooling for quite a long time now. Um, Literally since I became an entrepreneur, really, because one of the reasons I became an entrepreneur is because I found out that the how do I put it now? The academic focused education I got, I found that it didn't allow me to explore the full ramifications of what I believe were my abilities. And so I was in paid employment, and I know how I got the job. It was really, I was just, well, yes, I did do a lot of hard work to get, go up and down applying for jobs, and then I did took advantage of the wonderful opportunity to get to the selection board process in Guinness, Nigeria. So I got the job, and then I did very well in the company. But I began to see a lot of limitations that the kind of education I got put on me, and I saw that there was a lot more I could do with myself, a lot of abilities I had, which were even enabling me to excel in the job. For instance, my ability to self-teach, self-tutor. I learned spreadsheet development, coding, and I began to do a lot of stuff. I began to do web coding right then. Guinness, I learned from a young man. His name was Victor. I went to there's a place called Sapele Road, if I recall correctly, where he had this IT school, computer school he was working in, and I learned HTML programming from him. So I saw that there were things I wanted to do, and being in the company limited me. So I began to dream. I just saw that nobody understood what I wanted to do. So that told me that the kind of education I'd gotten did not let people have that feeling that they could explore the creative aspect of their personalities, of their intellect, and to really believe they could do a lot more than what they had seen other people do. So I felt something was wrong with the education I got, and I decided to self-educate by reading up a lot. So I bought books by Robert Kiyosaki and all of that, and my eyes were opened to a whole new world of possibilities. I discovered a man called Terry Dean. He's still in business today, one of the greatest marketers, web marketers known, and he's a legend, But when I discovered him, he was still a young man doing so well and earning a living just doing a lot of writing, and that was what I wanted to do. Those who know me from the time I was in paid employment will tell you the lot of volumes of stuff I did in the training department, training manuals, training handbooks, all kinds of stuff. I was always writing and coming up with ideas. So I was just so hungry to achieve, and I felt, why don't the other people understand this? After all, we all have the same level of education. We've all gone to the tertiary institution. That's when it struck me. I realized that even though we all went through the same education, we didn't all retain our creativity. So it was no surprise to me when I encountered Saken Robinson's video that was viral from the TEDx circuit, in which it said schools kill creativity. When he said that, and I listened to the thing, and I saw that millions of people, I think over 30 million at a point, had watched the video. And yet, in some parts of the world, people were not listening. The people in charge of education were not listening. I realized that, okay, this is something that the parents are going to have to be the ones to decide they wanted to do for themselves. So when I then heard Gary Vaynerchuk speaking in one of the videos in which he said why the school system is dead, and he was so direct in identifying what the problem was, that the whole thing is obsolete. It's no longer relevant to the needs of today. Technology has taken it over. Like he said, Siri will answer any question. I can Google up anything I want. I have a calculator. Why do I want to learn all those complex stuff? I was discussing with a client yesterday. Who wants to do all the almighty formula? Who has time for that rubbish? The most idiotic person today, who has no clue about academics, can function 10 times better than you and make more money than you, even if you had a PhD. And this brings me to the subject of this particular video, which I'm sure you've been looking at and wondering what's the relationship with what this guy is saying and what's on the screen. Well, the professors are to be regarded, and in fact have always been regarded, as the people who are at the top of the food chain in the academic system. They have always been the one, in the time of my parents and their parents, that were looked up to. They were like the ultimate in terms of achievement, given the Western style schooling system that was bequeathed to us by our supposed colonialists. We believed that it was the ultimate achievement to get a PhD. But let's be honest with ourselves. I saw recently an announcement that said that what's his name, Sunday Igboho, has been conferred with an honorary doctorate degree. Two-Face Idibia dropped out of the university, but the same university called him back and gave him an honorary doctorate degree. And it goes on and on. There's so many people that have that. I'm not saying it means that they're academics. I'm just saying that. So getting a degree conferred on you by an institution is not really going to be based on whether or not you demonstrate academic prowess. Therefore, there's a message that's being passed subliminally to us in society that we're missing. That's my opinion. And I think this particular news item that's on your screen right now, I think it's important that people understand that that message is still being passed, and it's being passed in a very unapologetic way to all of us, including our dear lecturers. I have friends who are PhDs. I have friends who are professors. People I know very well, extremely competent. If they were not in Nigeria, oh Lord, they will be right at the top of the chain. In fact, some of them are not in Nigeria, and they're doing extremely well. The ones in Nigeria are also highly respected, but they're just a few. There are many others who are PhDs, who are professors, who are doctors and all that, who are not getting the respect they deserve because society no longer places the same value on what they have. And this is my message to you. If you're a parent listening to this, I want you to understand. You need to wake up to the realization that the world has changed. If you do not wake up to that realization, it's going to be very tough for your child. Parents, I urge you, please pay attention. Kids, I want you to pay closer attention to the things I'm going to say now. I've given you some preamble. I'm going to speak the truth to you. I want you to listen. Society is showing you the value it places on the teachers you as a child, or you as a parent, your child is going to have to listen to and learn from if and when your child attends university. If I go by what most people are saying, they still want their kids to go into university. Even with all the mess they see happening, they are still in denial that the system no longer offers them what they need to give their children, for their children to excel in life. So if you are planning for a child to go to university, I just want you to understand what I'm about to say to you now. Think how long this issue between the government and the professors, lecturers generally, but the professors in particular, because the professors are the ones that are speaking for the others and they're speaking and they're not being heard. So ask yourself, how come it keeps happening? It's not the first time. Even in times of Babangida, it happened. It's the same cycle. Please note that all the people that were always in power, not ever once when all this nonsense happened have we ever had somebody that had a PhD like these other people, with the exception of Goodluck Jonathan. So these people that are at loggerheads with the academics, with the professors, with the doctors in university, the lecturers, these people are typically people that don't even have any background that will enable them to even reason and appreciate the value these professors bring, because they themselves do not have those qualifications, and they are therefore not in a position to understand, because they are the ones ruling the country, taking decisions that affect these professors, but they themselves do not have to go through the system run by the professors, and therefore do not see why they should take whatever the professors are saying as being of essence, because they have achieved that level where they run the country without needing to go through the system running by the professors. So they don't see the professors as the one determining the outcome for them and for any children that they have, because they know they can circumvent the system run by the professors. It's important that you understand that. So why does this keep happening? If truly university education is valued by society, we are all looking at it. This has been happening for many months, and by the time the whole thing was going to come to an end, it wasn't that the professors decided to stop. Instead, there was a court ruling that made the professors say, okay, we'll suspend the strike, or we'll call up the strike. Hopefully the government will do the right thing, and the government proceeds to do what it wants to do. Now, how do you show that you respect or do not respect anyone? It is in the way you treat the person. They've treated the lecturers the way they wanted for so many months, and then now they're treating them the way they want with regard to the payment for the times they've been there without working when they were protesting. Would they do that to them if they respected them? No. If they don't respect the lecturers, how can the children that are going to learn from the lecturers respect the lecturers? How do you expect your child to believe that university education is going to be worthwhile if he's seeing the professor struggling to get paid and struggling to get respected by leaders who do not have university education? See, this whole system is working against itself. You need to understand this is bad. Alright, now I'll continue to scream this truth for anyone willing to listen to hear me and hear me clearly. Skills matter today more than degrees do. Go and get your child schooling that works. In other words, schooling that equips your child with the ability to function competently as an independent, value-added adult in society, that's capable of meeting his or her needs, obligation, and responsibilities without burdening others unnecessarily. Get what I said there? Stop thinking society's formal conventional schooling system will give your child the kind of education or preparation he needs or she needs. It will not. You need to consciously design a custom education system for your child, that is preferably based on his or her identified unique talents, gifts, interests, and passions. You need to study your child and know what your child is good at, what is your child is interested in, and then use that as a basis for providing formal schooling for that child in a practical way. That is what is needed for authentic success achievement in today's world. Forget what happened in the past, in the times of your ancestors, your parents, your grandparents, your great parents, whoever they were, even if they were the first professors on the planet. Forget it. The world has changed. So have the rules and requirements for succeeding. It's changed completely. Technology has made that the reality we're living with today. So in the past, you typically will get asked, do you have a degree or certificate? Did you attend university or college? Today, your child is more likely to get asked, do you have a skill? What are you good at? What do you know how to do? What can you do? Do you know how to solve this problem? Because believe me, nobody wants to see a piece of paper anymore. Not like before. People today want problems solved, and they want them solved quickly and permanently. So they want real problem solvers. In other words, the world today is looking for people with proven know-how or problem solving abilities, also known as skills. Get your child schooling that gives him or her physical and or non-physical skills. For instance, intellectual skills, speaking skills, mental skills, those kind of things, non-physical stuff. Okay, in addition to any academic education you want him or her to have, and you would effectively giving him or her a better chance of excelling into this world, because the world is looking for practical problem solvers, not theoretical people. Otherwise, she might just blame you later in life if she finds out that the academic focused schooling you paid for was not enough. It doesn't matter how much you pay. If you pay $1 million, if you don't give the child something that's going to enable him or her function in society competently, that child will turn around and point fingers at you. So don't say I didn't tell you. You have been warned.